widespread stuff in our daytime highs. Just outside of the seasonal average, 89 would be an average. We'll top out at 90 degrees. More of your forecast in 10 minutes. Ashley, back to you.
The new information overnight about the driver found shot to death inside a car on the north side. Police released his identity just a couple of hours ago. He's 30-year-old Anthony Basinega, and police say that he was shot in the car on 55th Street and North Main Street, then drove to Andrus Street and died. Witnesses say that a passenger was seen running from the area. One witness we talked to describes what happened when officers arrived.
And then the 5 of them started yelling, you know, put your hands up, come out of the car, put your hands up, let us see your hands. There was no response. And then when they opened the driver's side door, the man inside was deceased. He was just sitting in the driver's side with his hands in his lap and his head over. He was already deceased by that time.
Police said that they are going door to door in the neighborhood, hoping to get some information on the suspect. Police are also searching for whomever shot a woman in the chest in Jacksonville's Biltmore neighborhood. It happened around 7:30 yesterday, and when police arrived, they found a white female in her 30s. She was taken to UF Health with life-threatening injuries. Police say they're looking for a suspect who left the scene in a gray or dark-colored Chevy Cavalier. And JSO is asking anyone with information about either of these shootings to, of course, call Crime Stoppers, and that number's on your screen, 866-845-TIPS. And this morning, we are still waiting to learn the identity of the man pulled out of the water in Putnam County in what appears to be a deadly boating accident. Agents with Florida Fish and Wildlife and Putnam County deputies are still trying to determine exactly what happened. Around 5:30 yesterday evening, officers were called to Calpin Lake in Hawthorne on East Calpin Lake Road, where a man was found 75 yards out in a lake. The Putnam County officers say a friend had let a man borrow his canoe, and then when he didn't return it for a while, he took another boat out to go look for him, make sure he was okay. Well, he found an empty canoe and then his friend's body, and that's when he called for help. Officers say that there have been at least 4 similar incidents in the past year and a half, so they really want to remind people of the importance of not boating alone and always wear a life jacket. The Alachua County Sheriff's Office is officially in charge of the Waldo Police Department. The small town is caught up in what's being described as a speed trap scandal, and now the department is expecting major changes. Chief Mike Szabo and the police corporal are being investigated after they were accused of establishing illegal ticket quotas. Well, it's no secret Waldo's an easy place to get pulled over for speeding. We've learned that that may be partly due to the changing speed limits on 301 and State Road 24. It goes 45 miles per hour, then it becomes 55, and then 45 again. And then it is brought down to 35. So a lot of changes in that area. And Channel 4's Scott Johnson went to Waldo, where he spoke to the town spokesman about the previous ticket quota that was given to officers and some new changes.
This story has moved beyond a writer's joke of asking, where's Waldo? When national TV networks show up in this tiny town, the anonymity is gone.
The town leadership asked the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to come in and investigate fully. That investigation is underway.
This is Ron Sachs. He's with the Florida League of Cities and was called in by Waldo City Management to handle this public relations crisis. It started when Police Chief Mike Szabo was suspended last month after officers in the department accused him of having a ticket quota, which is illegal in Florida. But as Sachs points out, 2 very busy roads crisscross this tiny town, and the speed limit does drop off almost immediately.
Outside the town limits, you see signs that say speed limits strictly enforced, and they mean that here. They mean that for decades. That is not an explanation or a justification for any kind of speed trap. It is not a justification for any quota system if there ever was one. The town is for doing it the right way and doing it the legal way.
So now the Alachua County Sheriff's Office has put one of its supervisors in as the temporary police chief, and they will help with all police activities.
I commend the city of Waldo for recognizing that this is a very serious issue and that it needed to be addressed. I very much appreciate them reaching out to the Alachua County Sheriff's Office, and I put Lieutenant, who now is acting Captain Steve Maynard, in charge as interim chief of police in the city of Waldo.
Now, the city council in Waldo still needs to give final approval on this agreement with the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. They're also requesting the state change the speed limit at 301 here, State Road 24, to make sure there is a uniform speed limit all the way through Waldo. So this slowdown issue in the town is no longer an issue for drivers. In Waldo, Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
Covering St. Johns County, a man and a woman have been arrested on multiple charges and are in jail this morning after, we're told, an attempted romance ended in armed robbery. Officers say Danny Hammond and Tiffany Higginbotham stole a man's clothes right off his back along with his phone and wallet. So it actually all started on Sunday. Police say that Higginbotham picked up a 42-year-old man she knew and drove him to Cherry Tree Road in St. Augustine for what he thought was going to be an intimate time together. So police say when they got out of the car, she opened the trunk and Hammond came out with a weapon. On Tuesday, a person matching the description of an armed robber was caught on West Jace Way and was later identified as Hammond. Police also arrested Higginbotham at her home. Both remain in St. Johns County Jail. A gun safety program for children is coming back to Duval County, but not without some criticism. The Eddie Eagle Gun Safe program is designed to improve safety on school campuses and minimize threats of school shootings. The program is sponsored by the National Rifle Association, which has one dad upset. He says in a letter there was no mention about the Gun Association's involvement. Superintendent Dr. Nikolai Vitti says he hopes parents will look past that for the benefit of keeping children safe and raising gun awareness. A dad proved that, just like many parents, he would do anything for his child. The shoes he uses to let his paralyzed daughter walk with him, that's coming up. And we're now hearing from the family of Steven Sotloff, the American journalist killed by ISIS militants, what they have to say about not giving in to fear of the enemy. That's next.
Like WJXT4, the local station, on Facebook. You know a person or business that deserves to be recognized for their efforts to make Jacksonville a better place to live. Email us at positivelyjax@wjxt.com. Positively Jax is brought to you by Memorial Hospital.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up, hey. Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house, except for my husband.
Now save up to $500 during the Tempur-Pedic Live It Up event. Plus, at Ashley with 77 months no-interest financing, get Tempur-Pedic queen sets starting as low as $26 per month. Get the most highly recommended bed in America from America's #1 furniture retailer.
Friends, save in Jacksonville at Kia of Orange Park and Southside Kia when you choose from a huge selection of used cars priced under $99.95. Like this week at Southside Kia, this Kia Sedona, $49.95. How about this Chevy Malibu, just $69.95. We got this Jeep for $79.95. This gorgeous Kia Optima, only $89.95. And this Sport is just $99.95. Save online at SouthsideKiaJax.com or come to the corner of Atlantic and Southside and save.
If you love your pet this much, this much, this much, this much, or even this much, then your pet deserves Pet Supermarket. You'll find the most knowledgeable associates, the name brands you know and trust, and the best toys and treats. And you'll find that your pet loves Pet Supermarket this much. We look forward to seeing you and your pet soon. Pet who? Pet Supermarket.
Help the American Heart Association fight heart disease and stroke. Register your team at firstcoastheartwalk.org and join us September 20th at Metropolitan Park.
We see the positive. Positively Jax is powered by Memorial Hospital. This September on Francis Field, St. Augustine, an epic battle where no one leaves unscathed. Let the Batalla da Vino begin. September 13th, get ready. Visit SpanishWineFestival.com for tickets today.
We're now hearing from the family of the journalist killed by ISIS militants. A family spokesman talked to reporters outside of their Miami home yesterday and says Steven Sotloff was no hero, but he dedicated his life to portraying the suffering of people in war zones.
He yearned for a tranquil life where he could enjoy Miami Dolphins games on Sunday and a banal office job on Monday that would provide him a comfortable middle-class existence. But the Arab world pulled him. He was no war junkie. He did not want to be a modern-day Lawrence of Arabia. He merely wanted to give voice to those who had none.
He says the family's grieving, but have pledged not to allow their enemies to hold them hostage with fear. And the U.S. says it's now open to new United Nations resolution on Gaza, but only if it doesn't harm the ceasefire that's been holding between Israel and Hamas. It was stressed that no measures by Palestinians and the UN or any place else can replace negotiations between the two sides in order to achieve a solution. The draft resolution is being circulated and calls for the reestablishment of full Palestinian Authority control over Gaza, which was being ruled by Hamas militants who refused to recognize the state of Israel. It also asked both sides to consult on bringing in construction materials to rebuild Gaza. And check out this amazing photo of a thunderstorm in Washington, D.C. Well, CNN reporter captured this picture of lightning on Tuesday while he was standing on his roof of the condo building, and 15 minutes, about 50 camera snaps later, he says this was the only picture that captured the bolts, but my goodness, that's an awesome picture. I would frame that.
That is kind of cool. Yeah, if you got nice clarity to it, that would make a neat little office portrait. You ever tried to take pictures of lightning?
No, I haven't. It's about impossible, right?
It's you know, it's always the people that are really good at it make it look easy. But yeah, you take bunches of pictures to delete most, and the rest of them, they've got these cool little devices. When the lightning snaps, it starts to fire off the cameras, but still doesn't mean you get it every time. All right, let's take that look outside. Speaking of lightning, there will be that chance that you'll see that in the forecast here for today. Hear the rumble of thunder, maybe even pick up a little bit of that wet weather. Showers are stacking up offshore. We've got that coming up in your full weather forecast.
And I got friends in low places.
And a beautiful singing voice.
That's right. Garth Brooks announces that after almost 20 years, he is coming back to Jacksonville. We'll hear from one local fan who says she has a special connection to the country singer. That's next.
We're proud to cover St. Augustine, Dunn Creek, and Evergreen.
You're watching Channel 4, the local station.